Eden?
Cruz? Are you there? If you're listening, pick up the phone. Cruz? Are you mad at me because I had to have dinner with Jack Lee last night? Look, I couldn't help it. There are so many business things to iron out that Daddy's... Why am I pouring my heart out to this thing? Look, maybe you left for work early. I'll try you at the precinct house. Me again. It's 10 o'clock. You're not home, and you're not at your desk. You must be seeing another woman.
I don't always work at my desk, Eden.
I'm throwing myself off the nearest bridge. All right, this is it. I can't find a bridge, but I'm wearing my waterproof mascara. If you don't call by 11, I'm throwing myself off a very tall rock.
Nobody told me you called, sweetheart.
One last chance, Cruz. I had to come home and change. I can't drown in these clothes. The colors will run. Call me before it's too late. Goodbye, cruel world! Now they tell me you've called in and said you were stopping home to grab lunch. Obviously, peanut butter is more important to you than I am. Please bury me in the outfit I left in your bathroom. Wait. Is that a shark?
Pity that poor shark. What outfit? Oh, Eden's dress for success outfit. Strange she'd want to be buried in this. I always thought it made her look a little chunky. Poor old Eden. I'm gonna miss her though, you know. Thank goodness I am having an affair with another woman. Well, of course, when you come to think of it, who needs women? I've got peanut butter.
Good morning.
Lionel, why are you here?
I came to see my grandson.
That's what I thought.
Oh, Gina, wait a minute.
No, I told you I don't want you seeing him.
Gina, you must have known when I found out that I'd want to meet Brandon.
The only reason I told you about that is because I wanted people to know how Sophia lied to everybody all those years. Just like everybody else, aren't you? You just want to get your hands on my little boy.
Come on, his mother wasn't adverse to my seeing him.
I'm his mother, not Santana. And Cece is his legal father.
Well, according to my information, Cece was going to divorce you and fully intended to cut Brandon out of his will.
Yes, but he didn't. And there's no new will.
Wait, you know something? I'm not even interested in all that. I just know that I had a son that I'd never known, and a grandson I hadn't known either.
Lionel, there's going to be a lot of things that you'll never know. You'll survive. Well, you do fast work.
And we try to, Miss Capwell. Oh, thanks for yesterday for the early lunch.
Oh, you're very welcome. Are you sure this is dry enough to paint over? We wouldn't want it crumbling away or anything.
I figure it should last at least until the next earthquake.
Good. Sophia! No, I don't remember giving you permission to enter the house.
Eden called me and said there'd be a family meeting here at noon.
Oh, yes, I know all about that meeting. I'm running it. But what makes you think you're a member of the family?
Why don't we just take a poll and see who's a member and who isn't? The only connection you have to the family is just sleeping with Mason.
What?
Ted, I am sorry. I didn't want you to hear that. I lost my temper.
Gina, you and Mason?
All right, that's enough. I want you to pack up and get out of the guest house.
No chance.
Now, wait a minute. Who are you to give orders to her?
I'm your father's wife. And until he recovers, I am the head of this household.
No, you are not.
This is my house. Mine, Kelly's, and Eden's. And we'll decide who stays and who's gonna go.
No, Mom, I'll be fine. Yeah. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Who are you talking to, Christy?
Just my mom. She's real nervous. She knows the DA is questioning me today, and she's just real worried about me.
I just came in to tell you that your mother is waiting for you outside. Was that Ted Capwell you were talking to?
No. I was going to,
But you didn't get the chance.
I'm not a criminal. Look, I'm not under arrest or anything, am I?
Not yet.
Then if I want to talk to a friend, then why not? He is the only one who knows how I feel. My mother, my sister, they don't want to hear about it. Who am I supposed to talk to?
You talk to me. That's who you talk to. You were warned with good reason not to talk to Ted before the question. It looks like you two are comparing notes.
Wait.
Be quiet and listen to me. Now, I am your lawyer. I am on your side. But if you're going to lie to me, then you're going to have to find yourself another attorney.
Ted, you've been very good to me, and I like you so much. Please don't interfere with me running this house.
I was good to you because I didn't know what you were like then. Everyone else is back.
Oh, what about Sophie and all the lies she's been telling?
I knew all about Channing.
And you're going to stand there and tell me what I did was worse? Well, maybe Channing's not the only one. Maybe you're not a Capwell either.
Don't listen to her. She's only carrying on like this because Cece was going to divorce her. He had all the papers drawn up, just not enough time to sign.
Look, maybe Dad was about to do lots of things, but they were all his decisions. And since he didn't appoint anyone else to make them, we're just going to have to wait until he pulls through, Gina.
What if he doesn't?
I'll get it.
No. I'll get it. Hi.
Can I talk to you?
Sure. Actually, I'm glad to see you.
Are you?
I know you're upset, and I know it's about Christy, but I don't know what else I can tell you. Now, I had this little meeting with Jack Lee's partner or associate or something like that, and
Don't
it's
make
a
me
family.
leave this time.
Will you come in and wait for me until the meeting is over?
And now Lakin.
Ah, spying on the Capwells. You must be wearing chipper today.
What's your husband up to now?
What do you mean? What did he do?
And why is Lakin at the Capwells?
She probably went to see Ted. You heard about Cece's stroke.
Cece had a stroke? A young man like that.
What did Lionel do? What are you talking about?
Not 10 minutes ago, I saw Capwell's wife, forget her name, slam the door in his face.
I knew he couldn't keep his hands off that child.
Child? What child? There's only one child in the Capwell house. Channing's son, Brandon. Now, why would Lionel want to see him?
You tell me you're the spy.
Did you miss me last night?
Last night? Let's see, who was I with last night?
Stop that.
What's the matter? You can't take a joke? What's the matter? Glad to see the shark didn't take all the fight out of you.
No bite out of you.
Watch out! Don't get me started.
He reasoned with me. He was a pushover compared to you.
I'll bet.
I thought you said you only had a few minutes before lunch was over.
I do, but I'll be late.
So will I. And I can't.
Uh-huh. Let me guess, lunch with Jack Lee?
You are my lunch.
You are my only lunch. You are all the vitamins I need.
So, working alone today, are you?
I'm gonna be with Jack Lee, but it is not lunch, it's a family meeting. Well, it's an agenda that we all came up with, of things that has to be discussed with the family, and I've got to do it. It's important. Daddy asked me to.
I know.
You know that.
Yes.
Look, you're perfect, and you're wonderful, and I love you.
I love you too, and I'm not perfect. I'm greedy.
Well, you're just gonna have to understand. I mean, I don't want this to sound nasty or anything, but you're gonna have to get used to this, just like I had to get used to your job.
Yeah, I know. I'm not arguing.
Look, how many times did you run off to work when you knew that I needed you?
Sometimes, and other times, you know, when I knew you were feeling lonely, I had somebody fill in for me at work.
Yeah, but my work is my family. I can't do that.
Yes, I understand. I just hope you realize that sooner or later there is going to be another family to consider, our family.
Of course, but I have an obligation. I am my father's daughter, and I can't do anything to change that. And you wouldn't ask me to do that anyway.
No, I wouldn't.
What is it then? You feeling a little lonely?
No, I'm not lonely now. How could I be? You came over. Even if it was kind of a hit-and-run guerrilla type of thing.
Then what is it?
Nothing.
What's wrong?
I need to eat. I'm a little grouchy when I'm hungry. I'm sorry. Go ahead and change. I'm fine. I just need to eat. Hurry, you're gonna be late.
Get in there and get it over with.
Oh, I know that this is really awful for you. Oh, the cruise is supposed to be here. I don't know what happened to him. Let me go check and see if Miss Dalton.
Good, you didn't start without me.
Almost.
Hi, Christy. Is Felicia here?
No, she just arrived.
Okay.
Listen, have you talked to anyone? Can you tell me something about Ted's questioning? I talked to Jack, but he's not the most reliable source.
Well, I'm sure Jack told you what he thought was important.
Yeah, right. Let me give you a little piece of friendly advice. I wouldn't trust him if I were you.
Why's that?
Nothing. He's a fine attorney, really, and he'll be fine for this case. As long as they have no issues involving women.
What are you talking about, Julia?
Nothing. Christy, Cruz and I are going to go in and talk to Miss Dalton. We've got to lay some groundwork, so we'll call you when we're ready for you, okay?
Sure.
Just forget it, will you?
Look, I am not protecting Christy or anybody else, okay? Now let's just go. Hello?
Ted, it's me. I was just going to go in for questioning and...
Hold on. Could you do me a favor? Could you go to the study and just tell him I'll be right there, okay?
Okay.
Thanks. I'm sorry, Christy. I can't talk to you right now, all right?
Okay, but what if I make a mistake? What if I say something that isn't exactly like what you said?
Don't worry about it. Now, we're bound to have seen things a little differently. Just remember, Steve died 1 to 2 minutes later, and he didn't have any final words, okay?
Yeah, I remember that. Just, is there anything else?
No, the rest we've already gone over plenty of times. So just relax. Everything's gonna be fine.
Well, when you say it, I almost believe it. All right, I'll give you a call when it's over.
Okay. Look, I gotta go now, okay? Bye-bye.
Sorry I'm later. Is everybody here for the meeting?
Yeah, everyone except Kelly. I think you just better be warned. Gina is really on the warpath this time.
Well, that wouldn't faze Daddy, and it's not going to faze us, right?
Right. Let's do it.
All right.
I don't think I have to tell you the fragile condition that my client is in. If it looks as if you're upsetting her in any way, I will end this, and fast. Is that clear?
Your client agreed to the questioning and is going to be questioned.
Questions are fun. I have no problem with questions. What I'm warning you about is harassment. Now, this child has just been raped. She then killed her rapist in order to protect a friend. Need I remind you of the highly emotional state she is in?
I am very aware of her state. And as a woman, I'm very sympathetic to her situation. I'll be careful.
You better be. Because if there's any deviation from the correct procedure, I will have this thrown out of court.
Julia, I'm sure no one's constitutional rights will be violated.
Good. Fine. All right, why don't we just bring her in and get it over with, all right? I don't think this is a job we're all looking forward to.
Mother, I think you better sit down over here. I've got something astounding to tell you. Astounding. Mm-hmm.
Well, let's hear it.
All right, Channing Capwell Jr. wasn't C.C. Capwell's son. He was mine.
Well, haven't you got at least the good manners to be a little more modest about it?
Somehow I didn't think you'd be surprised hearing it. How long have you known? And to think I scolded Augusta for breaking into your desk.
I knew it. I'll give that wife of yours such a tongue lashing, she'll never forget it.
Mother, why did you keep it a secret?
Well, I knew how painful it would be for the Capwells to find out about it.
Baloney. If you thought that, you would have hired a skywriter to write it. Now, come on, why did you keep it a secret from me, your own son?
As Jack's partner, I'm fully aware of his conversation with CC and CC's request that certain legal documents be drawn up.
Well, Jack said he'd be here.
Oh, yes, I know, but he had a criminal proceeding which could not be ignored. I do apologize.
Excuse me, but how binding is all of this?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to know that myself.
Well, I think that we could certainly agree that your father's wishes should be honored during a period in which he is incapable of carrying them through on his own.
The problem is to agree on his wishes.
Oh, I don't agree. I don't think he was of sound mind when Jack wrote those papers.
What are you talking about?
Well, he was extremely upset when he found out his oldest son, Channing, wasn't even his.
There was nothing wrong with Cece's mind, Gina.
Please, could we try to maintain some order here?
Sorry.
No, that's all right. It's good that it's out in the open. I have some idea now of why Cece made these requests. The divorce proceedings...
Oh, wait, which never happened.
We know that, Gina.
We also have a new will, including changes in the privately held company. There are some new bylaws. We have business appointments, wills, codicils. Now, Cece's business holdings comprise a rather complex legal entity. Capwell Enterprises, the parent company, is a solely owned proprietorship, wholly owned and operated by Cece. It was Cece's intention that Eden should become the chairman of the governing board in the event of his illness or death, and that Jack would be his general counsel. As we all know, Eden is currently the chief operating officer in Capwell. Now, Cece planned to specifically deny his son, Mason, and his present wife, Gina Blake DeMott Capwell.
But he only planned to do that.
We are talking about what Daddy wanted.
You don't know what he wanted. May I see those papers, please?
I actually have some copies here.
Thank you.
Give it to her and just shut her up.
Let's see, these are copies. They're just copies, and these aren't valid without Cece's signature, because these could have been altered after he had a stroke.
Now, that's a lie.
Well, then show me the originals, Eden.
Yes, Gina, where are they?
Yeah, you were the one that found Daddy. The papers were gone.
Are you accusing me?
Yes, I'm accusing you. I think you destroyed them because you found out that it left you and Mason out in the cold.
Yeah, but look at this. This is not a copy. This is the divorce petition. Now, if he didn't sign this, what makes you think he signed anything at all?
Well, they were all sent together.
Maybe he destroyed them all when he found out the truth about Sophia. Eric, will you just tell me where we stand legally here?
Well, the most recent signed legal documents grant limited powers to Mason as legal counsel for Capwell Enterprises in business affairs, and also grant him the privilege of voting in the board meetings.
Well, then, there you go. We can stop worrying about what Cece's wishes are. Mason is his lawyer. I'm his wife. If anyone's going to take over, we will.
Eden, why argue with her? She's not to
Could we have some quiet, please? Could we have some quiet? Well, the situation here is certainly clear enough. Cece's wishes, as expressed, lack the legal instruments to be carried out at this point, but I would like to say for the record that I do believe that he had sufficient time to sign those papers and that he probably did so.
So you're calling me a liar, too?
Why not? Everybody else knows you are.
You're all forgetting one thing. He found out that Channing was Lionel's son. I mean, that was bound to change his mind about a lot of things, don't you think?
Well, it certainly must have been what prompted his call where he dropped Channing's son Brandon from the will and dissolved his trust.
Yes, but that was never signed.
No, that is correct.
And Sophia, he wrote Sophia out of the will, isn't that true?
Yes, that is also true.
But that was never signed.
But you have no claims on anything.
I'll make any claim I can to help protect my husband's interests.
Sophia, he's not your husband.
I think you both forget. He wanted both of you out of his lives. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is.
All right, I still have substantial control over a major corporation that CC has the majority vote of. That is Armonte Industries, and I know how to use that control.
But now, you see, you're going against Cece's wishes. He wanted you thrown out.
Gina, that's true. And maybe I deserve it. But nothing will change the love I have for that man.
I loved him, too. Didn't do me any good.
And I am going to do my damnedest to protect his personal and his financial interest until he has recovered.
What if he doesn't recover? What if he never recovers?
Is that what you're hoping for, Gina?
I think that it might be wise to at least consider that possibility.
But there's no need. It's not going to happen, all right?
She wants everything.
Listen, now doesn't the surviving spouse receive half the community property?
Gina!
Excuse me, community property is a rather narrowly defined concept in the law.
She wants to take over everything.
I've been doing a little research here. Listen, community property is anything earned by either party during the marriage and the profits therefrom. Now, isn't that right, Eric?
Daddy has owned his business long before he met you.
I know that. But everything he acquired after we were married is half mine. Now, you correct me if I'm wrong. This includes, let's see, Armonte Industries, the entire newly acquired Santa Maria Basin oil rights, the rebuilt Capitol Hotel since the fire, the Orient Express restaurant.
No, that restaurant is
wait a
mine.
minute, Gina.
25% of the stock.
CC owns the rest and 75% of the profits. Now, Eric, doesn't the surviving spouse, after 40 days, have the right to sell off all the community property if she wants to?
I don't believe this.
What about the last surviving will? We're all mentioned in it.
You know, I've heard enough, Gina.
Look, could we please just get back to the matter at hand? All I am trying to do here today is get some sort of consensus that allows Jack and me to handle Eden's legal matters and her business affairs to some degree. That is, until Mason returns, if that's what you require.
Wait a minute, Eric. I know my rights. And I also know that all of you want me thrown out of this house and you want to take away my little boy. And you and Jack aren't officially Cece's lawyers. Mason is. And when Brandon comes of age, he inherits 51% of Cece's holdings. So, none of you have anything to say about anything. Meeting's over.
Interesting lady.
Yeah. And she knows exactly what she's doing.
Well, we can stop her, can't we?
How dare you badger me? I should be badgering you, your outlandish lack of morals.
Morals? Now stop confusing the issue, Mother, and don't talk to me about moral. No, not after 25 years of hiding the fact that Channing Capital Jr. was my son.
Well, now you know. How does it feel?
Not sure. Hurt, betrayed, cheated. To know that there was somebody of my flesh and blood, my own son that I'll never know. Perhaps a sense of wonder, awe.
That's why I didn't tell you. You'd have run back to that shameful woman and brought more disgrace to our family.
True. You let him be raised by the Capwells. You who are such a fanatic about the Lockridge bloodline. There's something more to it than that.
You stay away from Sophia and that Brandon boy. They mean nothing to us.
Mother, how can you say that?
Subject is closed.
Mother?
I came as soon as I could, Lionel.
Hi, I'm very glad you're here.
Mass card. Gone. That's how Augusta found out. Here. Untouched. And she thinks she's so clever.
I'm sorry, I can't help you, Lionel.
Well, why not? All I want to do is see Brandon. Just talk to him.
It's not up to me.
I promise you I won't upset him. I won't tell him that I'm his grandfather. I promise you that.
Lionel, I really wish I could help you, but Gina would sooner let you in that house than she will me.
You're his mother.
Not according to her. According to Gina, I am heartless and I'm cold. And I gave my son up simply because I didn't want to be bothered.
Well, that's nonsense. Cece and Channing Jr. forced you to give him up.
And when I try to see Brandon and find out how he is, she tells me that I'm only doing it because I have a guilty conscience. I don't care about Brandon. She says if I did, I would leave him alone and stop being so selfish. Sometimes I wonder if maybe she isn't right.
Selfish? You want to see your own flesh and blood, to hold him, watch him grow up, be happy? I don't think so. You were a young girl being told what to do, and you were cheated out of what was yours. You know something, Santana? A lot of years ago, I was cheated out of knowing a son. And now there's a possibility I'm going to be cheated out of knowing my grandson. Well, I've got an idea. If you want to help me, I think I have an idea as to how we can both see him. Want to help?
All right.
Okay.
Christy, I'm Felicia Dalton from the DA's office. We're going to make this as easy for you as we can. Okay? All we want to determine is what charges the DA's office will use to prosecute you with.
I didn't want to kill him. I had to for Ted.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll get to that. You know, it's just that right now I want you to be sure of the charges that you'll be facing. And at this point in time, it looks a lot like second-degree murder. Do you understand what that means?
No, not really.
It means you could go to prison, Christy. That's why it's very important that you tell us the truth about the events leading up to the shooting and the actual shooting itself.
Steve had raped me, and he came back to rape me. And to kill me.
Okay.
And to kill Ted. I didn't know what else to do. He was going to kill both of us.
Okay. We will get to that later on in the questioning. I just want you to know what you're going to be facing. Because Ted has already given us his story. Now it's your turn. And we need the truth.
Look, I know I lied during the trial, but it won't happen again. I learned my lesson. Yeah. It won't happen again.
Better not. Because we're not just talking your freedom, we're talking Ted's as well.
Thanks. Put that thing down. I'll use it on you if you ever dare try and ransack my desk again like a common thief.
Did Lionel tell you that?
You trying to destroy your marriage by telling Lionel that he has a child by Sophia?
I didn't tell him.
You blabbed it to somebody.
What's the matter? Did I spoil your timing? Obviously, you were going to use that information, or you wouldn't have left the evidence around. And who said that you could play God in this household? Channing is not the only secret you're keeping. I found an entire dossier on my parents.
Yes, And they're crooked deals. They're real estate crooked deals. I should have told Lionel years ago and put an end to this ill-fated romance of yours.
Oh, well, I'm sure the only reason you didn't is that you had found a better use for it. And what about that private investigator's report on Brick's parents? You've been having them tracked for years, haven't you? Why?
It's in your best interest not to know anything about that.
Oh, well, I'm sure Brick would be very interested.
And if you meddle any further with me, it's going to be to your own ruination. And don't say you haven't been warned.
Well, can't we challenge her in court?
Well, probably so. But I don't necessarily think that's the best strategy this time.
Why not?
Well, we maybe could get a temporary injunction barring Gina and Mason from being involved in Capwell Enterprises in any way, but it sure wouldn't take long for Mason to overturn that.
There's got to be a way.
No matter how unfit we might prove them to be, as long as those legal documents are missing, well, any judge would wind up coming up with some sort of formula which would divide the control between the heirs and devisees. That would be you, Mason, Gina, Sophia, Brandon. I don't have to tell you what a free-for-all that'd be.
I know those papers are in this house. If we searched every corner, I bet you we'd find them. In ashes, but signed.
I'm not so sure. If Mrs. Capwell's smart, she probably held on to them.
Wet paint.
Right.
You're also very clever. How will I ever stand a chance against you?
You hate us so much. Why don't you just leave? I personally would give you every penny I could lay my hands on to make sure you went out that door and never came back.
Not everyone's like you, Eden. The money is not what I want. In the eyes of the law, my son will be a Capwell, and he'll be raised that way.
Why? If you think we're always so despicable, why would you want to be one of us?
To show you I can do it better than you can.
Mrs. Capwell, it's totally obvious to me how really devoted you are to your son.
He is the world.
Then for his sake, I mean for his future's sake, don't you think it might be a good idea if we all sort of pitched in together on this?
Oh, Eric, please. You don't fool me. And you don't mean a word you're saying. The only person I trust is Mason.
Really? Then you're in big trouble. Come on, Eric. Hope you wore your bulletproof vest.
Hello. Goodbye.
Gina, just wait a minute. I want to know how Cece is.
Santana, if you want to know how Cece is, go to the hospital to see him.
I thought they were only letting his immediate family in.
I know what you want. And whether Cece recovers or not, my son is not up for grabs.
She was right. Gina won't let her in. On to plan B.
I just have to speak to my mother for a minute, Gina.
All right, then. I'll just call her to the door. Rosa! You see, there are a few new rules around this house, and rule number 1 is you're not allowed in it. Rosa? Rosa, will you at least get the phone, please?
Gina, she probably can't hear you yelling at her.
All right, then. Goodbye.
She's in.
Hello?
Gina? It's Lionel Lockridge.
Lionel, why are you calling here? I told you this morning you can't see Brandon. I'm not going to change my mind.
Oh, yes. I'm not calling about Brandon. I'm calling because Mason asked me to.
Mason? Is he back? Where is he? When did you speak to him?
Just a few minutes ago. He said he'd have called you himself, but he was afraid that someone else might answer.
Why did he call you?
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go to the Orient Express and talk about this further, shall we?
Why?
Why? It's a better place to talk, I think. How about it?
Oh, all right, Lionel. I'll be there.
Good. I'll see you then.
Mason will be so proud of me. Hello, Reuben. Is Rosa there in the greenhouse with you? Well, will you please tell her that I have to go out for a little while? Now, Brandon is upstairs taking a nap, so make sure you keep an eye on him for me. Thank you. Bye.
Work.
I know you're lying, Ted. You and Christy both. Your nightmares, those secret phone calls. You know, neither one of you can look me in the eye. Ted, I don't think that you killed someone. I know you better than that. And if you're lying to the police and to the papers, I know there must be a good reason. But after everything we've been through, don't you think you can at least trust me?
Why can't you trust me enough to know that if there's something I can't tell you, that I have a good enough reason for it, Lakin?
Then what is the reason? Tell me that at least.
I made a promise to Christy, and I don't want to break it.
I thought the promise we made to each other not to keep secrets from one another would come first.
Well, I guess we were just too naive to think that that would work.
I don't think so.
Look at my parents. In fact, look at yours. Lakin, people do not live happily ever after without a few secrets along the way.
I don't want to be like our parents. I want to be like us. Like we've always been. It's always worked in the past. Now, which promise are you going to keep? The one you made to Christy, or the one you made to me?
In order for us to consider this homicide justifiable, we have to be convinced that Ted's life was in danger.
Steve had a gun, and he was gonna use it.
So in your opinion, if you hadn't shot Steve when you did, Ted would have been killed?
I know he would have. Steve already told me that he was gonna kill him.
You've lived in fear of Steve for a long time, haven't you, Christy?
Yeah, for about 3 years, since I was 15.
Is that when he first had sex with you?
Excuse me. What does this have to do with anything? Now, you indicated to me that you were going to stick to the facts.
These are the facts, Miss Wainwright. I'm examining the motive, a very strong motive. A rape that almost cost Christy her life. A trial in which her life was threatened. It's been 3 years of hell, hasn't it, Christy? You must have hated him very much. And you had every right.
I think the worst part was that I could never get away from him. No matter where I went, or how far or fast I ran, he was always there, right behind me.
You wanted him dead, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I dreamt for a long time that he was dead, that I was rid of him.
And yet during the trial you went against his wishes, changed your testimony, risking your own life, Ted's as well. Why'd you do that?
I didn't care about living anymore. And I made Steve promise that he wouldn't hurt Ted, but I knew that if he ever saw us together, he'd go after him, and he'd kill him. So I called Ted to warn him about Steve.
Only Ted found you. That wasn't part of your plan, was it?
No, I didn't.
No, it wasn't. You wanted to lure Steve down to your house by himself.
No, I never wanted.
Yes, it is. You went back to that house where it all started because you wanted to shoot him.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. You murdered him because you hated him.
That's it. That's enough. Let's go. We're finished. I warned you. You're harassing my client.
I am pursuing a line of questioning.
You are putting words in her mouth. Now, you either end that or I end this questioning.
What she's saying is not true. I didn't lure Steve down to that house. I was trying to get away from him. I went down there because I thought that was the last place he would look. What you're saying, that I planned it, that's not true at all. It's not how it happened.
Okay, Christy, tell us. How did it happen?
I really wish you wouldn't push me on this, Lakin.
I don't want to. I know what you're carrying around with you, and I don't want to be just another problem to you. I want to help you. Why won't you let me?
You can help By just leaving well enough alone.
If I am pushing, it's because I see what you're carrying around with you and what it's doing to you. You know as well as I do if you just tell the truth and nothing can go wrong.
Now, I don't believe that, Lakin. I think that by telling the truth without realizing who it can hurt, it can be the most selfish thing you can do.
Yeah, if Christy had told the truth in the beginning, none of this would have happened.
No. See, I understand things now that I didn't before. Now, I still wish this didn't happen to us, but I don't blame Christy for lying. Steve threatened my life if she told the truth. Now, what's she supposed to do, huh? Just kind of wash her hands of the consequences so she can say, oh, well, I did the right thing. No. See, Lakin, lying, it isn't always bad. In fact, sometimes, I think in a way, lying can sometimes be the right thing to do. I'm sorry.
And I wonder what it's going to take to make things right between us.
Sorry I woke you up, Brandon. It's okay. I'm really too big to take naps.
Hi.
Hi,
I'm Lionel.
I'm Brandon.
Jack, I'm not asking you to say no to President Reagan. I don't want your associate. He's nice, but he's not you. No, you have another suggestion? What's his name? What do you mean you won't tell me? Why not? Now, don't try to be charming. Look, as long as I can get through to you whenever I can, I guess I'll call you through your secretary. You go do your diplomatic whatever, and I'll try not to sink our business. Yes. No, go ahead. All right. Goodbye. Well, no one ever said it was going to be easy.
What do you mean, honey?
Living, making it through the day.
I think you're doing a wonderful job. You're under a lot of pressure.
I don't really feel like being comforted by you right now. So, how long are you planning on staying at the house?
I don't know. I want to stay there because I want to be near Cece.
Well, you know how everybody feels about that.
You mean you think he doesn't want me there?
Chris and I have come to a decision, Mama. We're going to give Daddy a grandchild. One of his own flesh and blood. Maybe it'll make up for some of the pain he felt about not having one of his own.
Does that mean even that you're pregnant?
No, not now. But very soon.